President Gunthert.
Here.
Vice President Bernatavitz is here. Secretary LaSorsa. Treasurer Weddle.
Here.
Vice Treasurer Battisti.
Here.
Chief Justice Nolan.
Here.
Chief of Staff Belosny. Director of PR Pearl. College Counsel Patel. Pro Temp Mavros.
Here.
Senator Ahmed is absent. Senator Candela.
Here.
Senator Chaput.
Here.
Senator Cortez. Senator Fisher.
Here.
Senator Velez. Senator Wu.
Here.
Senator Zapata. Advisor George. Advisor Wadsworth. Our web rep. CFB. Wildcat Media. Wildcat Esports. Our SAC rep. And our Res Life rep. All right, we will now move into the approval of our minutes and agenda. Is there any discussion on our minutes and agenda for today? Senator Velez.
Resolution 2425-XX.
I don't know what that was.
2425-XX.
Just if you could provide a little information on what this resolution is and why it wasn't submitted before Tuesday at noon. I yield back to our Senator.
The reason for the resolution was only brought to my attention yesterday afternoon. I yield. Oh, and also the resolution is about, to my attention, currently all of our documents provided to students are in English, and as you know, we do have international students and multilingual students on campus who may prefer a different language. So this resolution will mandate that all documents provided to students will need to be offered in the most common languages, and also additional services provided that are optional. I yield.
Where in the agenda are we looking to add it? And I'm going to yield back to our Senator.
The top. First thing. New business.
Our President.
Can I entertain a motion to call the question on discussion?
So moved by Senator Chaput. Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Fisher. All in favor of a call to question, please raise your hand. All who oppose? And all who abstain. That passes 8-1-0. Wait. No, 7-1-0. That passes, so we will now go into voting for adding that to the agenda. All in favor, please raise your hand. All who oppose? And all who abstain. That passes 8-0-0. All right, we are now back into the minutes and agenda. Is there any discussion for our minutes and agenda? Senator Chaput.
Resolution 2425-42 to below the org head resolutions.
All right, do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Wu. Is there any discussion for moving that later in the agenda? Senator Chaput.
The purpose for doing this is that even if the election is reopened, we will have org heads for work over the summer, such as getting contracts done. I yield.
Our President.
Entertain a motion to call the question.
All right. Seconded by literally everyone. Senator Mavros. Pro Temp Mavros. All in favor of a call to question, please raise your hand. All who oppose? And all who abstain.
I don't know if you so moved and then seconded. I think you just seconded. It had to be so moved because.
So moved, right. And then, okay.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. So moved by Senator Fisher, and do you still want to keep your second? Yeah, and seconded by our pro temp. All right, we will now move into voting. All in favor of a call to question, please raise your hand. All who oppose, and all who abstain. That passes 8-0-0. All in favor of moving Resolution 2425-42 to after 2425-45, please raise your hand. 46. Oh, thank you. After 46, please raise your hand. All right, all who oppose? And all who abstain. That passes 8-0-0. All right, now back into the minutes and agenda. Is there anything else for the minutes and agenda? Our audience member.
Hello. I'd like to entertain a resolution
All right. What's the resolution? Wait, hold on. Did we ask what the resolution is, or should we second and so move first?
Point of information, is it not allowed to only have one thing motioned on per meeting? You have the floor, by the way.
Yeah. I'm waiting for our advisors to give an answer.
Just a point of information for the Senate. Per our House rules, only one legislative document may be introduced during the approval of minutes and agenda per meeting. That's under Appendix P. I yield.
Thank you. All right. So it looks like we can't do that. I apologize. We could always grab that during open forum, though. All right. Is there anything else for our minutes and agenda? CFB.
Point of inquiry, could we move the swear-ins to immediately after the end of the ORG confirmations? So prior to the election resolution, or that had to be beginning of open forum for swear-ins? Is there any process for moving swear-ins up?
Yeah, you can move swear-ins up, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm going to go to our advisors.
If you the bill that receives the most amount of votes will be discussed. Legislation, to my knowledge, and if we want, if multiple bills are trying to be proposed, we can ask what bill is going to be introduced.
So I was going to answer CFB's question really quick. We can absolutely move swear-ins. It might get a little hairy, as then we'll have our new executive board up here, and they haven't had time to practice doing like meetings yet, because we would have to swear in everybody all at once. So we could, but it might get a little hairy. I'm going to yield.
Is there any more discussion for our minutes and agenda? Our treasurer.
Just a point of information for our secretary. What was the vote on the motion to add Senator Velez's resolution to the agenda? Because I'm assuming if that was unanimous, it just by order of precedence would be considered added. I yield.
It was. If our audience member would still like to try to bring it onto the table, I'm okay with that. Just, it's up to you. Okay. Oh no, I'll just go through the whole process and then, so all in favor of, sorry, do we have a so moved for bringing our audience members' legislation to the table? So moved by Senator Wu. Do we have a second? Seconded by Pro Temp Mavros. Is there any discussion for the legislation being brought to the table? Thank you. There's a back too. Okay, let's reel it back in. So is there any discussion on adding this resolution to the agenda? Our audience member. Our president.
Quite frankly, I apologize, Dan. This is a complete waste of time. We have a lot on our agenda, a lot of very important items on our agenda. We really should not be going through with this. We have enough to talk about. This is not something we need to waste our time on. I yield.
All right. Is there any more discussion? Senator Fisher.
No, sorry. Motion to move on and not bring this to the table?
So you want to call the question?
Yes.
All right. All.
Ability to just cancel out talk of motions, correct? I just don't remember what the exact wordage is.
So you want him to not entertain the motion?
Correct.
Okay.
Doesn't matter anyway.
Rescinded. All right. I deeply apologize, our audience member. Is there any more discussion for our minutes and agenda? Our treasurer.
As our president stated, we have a lot on the agenda today. May I entertain a motion to move I'd like to entertain a motion to move executive reports, director reports, committee reports, and organization reports to occur after new business, optionally during open forum, depending on the time in which we move into open forum. I yield.
I'm not going to hear that motion just because our president specifically asked us to go through reports anyways, as a special request. So let's just.
Reports, we'd just be doing them after new business.
Yeah, I'm still not going to do it. I'm going to keep it this way. It'll be easier. Senator Fisher.
To keep time, make it so each report can only be at least 2 minutes.
Does anyone have a report over 2 minutes? Is that worth? Okay. No, that's okay. All right. Is there anything else for the minutes and agenda? Thank you. All right. Seeing as there is, are you sure? Oh, you're fine. All right. With no more discussion, we will move into voting. All in favor?
Agenda.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Moving into voting for our minutes and agenda for passing that. Our pro tem.
Order of new business, just so I make sure I have correct.
Yep. There is the resolution that Senator Velez brought to the table, 2425-XX. Then it is Resolution 41, 42, 43, 44. Oh, wait, no, sorry. 41, 43, 44, 45, 42, 46, 47, and then the 3 bills.
Did you say 45?
Yeah. Okay. I thought I did. You want me to read it again?
43, 44, 45, 46, 42, 47, 12, 13, 14?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We move the one I have to read, which is 45, I think. 44, sorry. We can move 44 to the top of the org one scene. Yeah, I have to leave at 2, and if it goes, I kind of want to be able to read mine before I go. Because I have to leave at least 2.
I'm just gonna let it go because we could definitely
Okay. Hopefully.
skirt through.
Hopefully.
I don't think this will take a lot of time, personally. All right, is there any more discussion for our minutes and agenda? All right, we will now move into voting to approve our minutes and agenda. All in favor of our current lineup, please raise your hand. All who oppose and all who abstain. That passes 8-0-0. All right, we will now move into announcements. There are no announcements to my knowledge. Our Chief Justice?
I'll make one quick announcement, just announcing that the resolution to reopen the election's on the table. Thank you, huge thank you to Grayson for helping me out and doing the overwhelming majority of the heavy lifting. And I yield.
Right. Moving into guest speakers. There are no guest speakers. Moving into executive reports. Our president.
Hi, everyone. So this is my last meeting as your president. I know this year's been a little bumpy for a lot of us, but thank you for, I guess, showing up every day and trying your best. I know some of us have had some not so fun times with other people, but we made it through. So I encourage you all to get involved next semester if you haven't already lined up something to get involved. Yeah, have a great summer. I yield.
All right. Our vice president, no report. Our treasurer.
Hi, everyone. Last Senate scheduled meeting, at least, of the year. Very exciting. It's been quite the road from where we started in the fall. It's so wonderful to see so many new faces around our horseshoe. To echo our president, I highly encourage that every single person here, including our audience members, gets involved within student government next year. If you will be returning in the fall, to our graduating seniors, we will be very sorry to see you go. I'd also just like to do a little impromptu shout out to my vice treasurer, Brandon Battisti. He has been really a rock this year. He has just showed up for everything. He has really done a fantastic job. Very excited for him to continue within student government in whatever capacity he pursues. On to less fun stuff, stipends. Not everyone has submitted their transition document. I believe everyone who has not yet submitted their transition document has received an email yesterday regarding that. Please, please, please get this done as soon as you can. It's really important for the next group coming in. Perhaps more importantly, auxiliary services, the fiscal agent that handles the dispersing of our stipends. With regards to direct deposits, it is so much easier for them to do direct deposits all at once. So they'd like to wait until everyone's transition document is in before handling those direct deposits with some, timeline, right? They're looking at doing that sometime next week. So please, if you have not yet submitted your transition document, submit it as soon as possible. It ensures that everyone gets their stipend that they deserve. To our organizational representatives, if any of your org members have not yet submitted their transition documents, please highly encourage them to do so. It's part of their expected contractual duties, and if they're getting paid for it, they absolutely should be doing that. That's all from me. Thanks for a wonderful year. I yield.
Our secretary. Our chief of staff. Our Chief Justice.
Hey everyone, it's that time of the year where everyone's saying their goodbyes to SGU, and it's finally my turn to do it. I want to start by thanking this organization and everything it's provided to me. Through my college career, I've seen and done just about everything, and SGU was the first domino that had to fall in my life for it to become what I am now. I've seen death and rebirth. I've spent countless nights at homeless shelters where I've made friends and had people make attempts on my life. But through all of it, I have learned one critical lesson that I feel is more relevant now than ever before. Every good fight starts with the people, not the battle. I'll tell you that many of the homeless individuals I now consider good friends began when I spent a night on the cold streets of a winter Utica in solidarity with them after Utica cut funding with the shelters. That was how I earned their respect. Not by balling up my fists and rolling up my sleeves, but by putting myself in their shoes and showing them that they were not in this fight alone. What I'm trying to say here is that there's a terrible misunderstanding in our adversarial system of government. Nothing worth fighting for is fought alone. You need to empathize and understand both your allies and your adversaries before you even think of putting down legislation. And on that note, remember that the people who you are put up against are exactly that, people. Treat them with all the due respect and dignity you would your friends. I promise you that in a couple of years, when you are in my shoes and giving your own version of this speech, if you did everything right, the memories swirling in your head won't be the impeachments, fights, yelling, and petitions. It will be the late-night card games, the hikes, the lifelong friends, and the inside jokes. So I'll leave you all with this. Life is exactly what you make of it, and you will never know if you're flying or falling until you hit the ground. So carry on with grace and dignity. Hold the hands of people you love, and I promise, once you touch down, despite all those desperate nights where you felt hopeless and helpless, you will find that your wings were behind you all along. Thank you all for this incredible journey of growth, and I yield.
Right. Moving on to director reports. College Council. Res Life. Our Director of PR. Our advisors. moving on to committee reports. Budget committee.
Hi all, budget committee is pretty much finished, right? Our budget is passed. It's been not quite signed by all the necessary parties. We think we're good. Okay, never mind. It's been signed by everyone, so it should be sent to SUNY soon, shortly. SUNY, from my experience, doesn't necessarily come back with any problems, and I think we did a very good job with our budget this year. So shout out to all the members of Budget Committee, everyone else who came. Really appreciate your input, to our senators. Really appreciate all the work you did on the floor discussing, and to the rest of our horseshoe for your input. With regards to financial policy, it is, as you can see, not on the table this week. Still being worked through with some of our staff counterparts. Likely will just be handed off till whoever comes into the treasurer position next year. Still very much hoping that that'll be worked on over the summer, and hopefully we'll have something for whoever's here in the fall to look at during our first meeting. That's all from me. I yield.
Class gift. Food committee. Policy committee, no report. Safety and facilities.
We'll be having our last meeting tomorrow upstairs in the conference room. I will say that it has been a wonderful year working with everyone too, especially coming back to this campus and coming back to SGU. So I'd like to thank everyone for the wonderful year. Thank you.
Student Center Advisory.
Meeting, we worked on the transition document, and I can proudly say the pool tables will be repaired by the end of the day. So, and we will be having our last meeting today, May 1st, 2025, in the SGU conference room, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. These meetings are open to the public. Hope to see you all there. And I'd like to say it's been an honor working with all of you, and I hope to have, how do I say this? To continue this relationship of, trust and appreciation and good work next year when I rerun for Senate next year. Thank you. I yield.
Student Success and Technology.
We had a little surprise resolution on the table today. Nothing horrible though. And I would also like to proudly announce on Friday we won the Committee of the Year award, which I am so ungrateful, just very gratefully proud of our committee and all of the hard work we've done over the year. It wasn't easy, but we got it done. And also had a little speech posted that I wanted to share. All right. Wait, if it'll load. This award isn't just mine. It's a testament to every idea we turn to action, from syllabi success to meeting with the provost, and most importantly, reaching out to students who needed us most. We didn't just show up, we made it happen. We proved that when you believe in the work believes in you. So what's next? More change, more impact, more of us showing what we're made of. Proud of how far we've come, but trust we're just getting started. This is just beginning, and it's going to be big. I yield.
Wellness and inclusion. Great. Moving on to org reports. Web.
Hi, everybody. Web is now officially concluded for the year. Apocalypse was amazing, and we can't thank you all so much for the help that you've given us this year and for Apocalypse Week as a whole. Really, really, really appreciate it. As of right now, Web has almost all of the fall events planned out. We're getting started to booking them in to QWare as soon as I can, and we'll see you all again soon. I yield.
CFB.
We are closing out the year. We have a new head on the table for org approval, and we have had a successful year of policy enforcement. Something we can learn all around. I yield back.
Wildcat Media.
As you can see, today we just got in our camp we requested was virtual for. I would also like to thank the rest of the media for reporting and miking you all up every Senate meeting every week. We truly are in the trenches together. Wildcat Media would like to honor our graduating seniors, Isaiah, Omari, and Nick. Thank you all for your service to Wildcat Media, and we wish you good luck on your next endeavors. You will definitely be missed next year.
Esports. All right, now moving on to old business. There is no old business. Now moving into new business. Resolution 2425-XX, Senator Velez.
Accept resolution number 2425-XX.
Seconded by Senator Wu.
We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do hereby resolve whereas SUNY Poly serves a diverse and multilingual student population, including international students, immigrant families, and first-generation college students, and key campus documents are often provided in English, limiting access for non-English speakers, and language barriers can lead to miscommunication, missed deadlines, and disengagement, affecting student retention and success. And collaboration among campus departments is essential to effectively implement language access initiatives. Therefore be it enacted, beginning with the student handbook, all essential student-facing documents shall be translated into the most commonly spoken non-English languages among the student population or as identified by institutional data. And enacted the documents that should be prioritized, including but are not limited to the following: admissions material, application forms, eligibility guidelines, brochures, registrar forms, and course catalogs, university policies, student conduct, academic procedures, financial aid documents, information about scholarships, grants, and loans, orientation materials, campus services, student life and institutional expectations, legal and consent forms, waivers, contracts, and policy agreements. Enacted additional student resources and forms will be translated when doable, especially those directed towards students' academics, finances, campus life, and legal responsibilities. And enacted SUNY Poly can also expand its language access infrastructure by utilizing technology tools such as website translation plugins, document translation software, and even real-time captioning services, establishing a language buddy program that connects students with peers seeking help navigating campus systems. Implementation is up to the university. Offering interpretation services for major events, orientation, and advising sessions where appropriate. And enacted the following offices and faculty shall collaborate to push this agenda forward: academic success and advising, student accessibility services, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, international student services, educational opportunity program, office of the provost, and academic affairs. Therefore be it. Resolved, be it resolved, SUNY Poly students with limited English proficiency will have better access to essential information and services, reducing barriers to academic and personal success. And be it further resolved, these efforts support SUNY Poly's commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion by making critical resources available to all students regardless language or background. And be it finally resolved, the student government at Utica urges continuous collaboration across departments, student leaders, and campus partners to make language accessibility an enduring and evolving part of SUNY Poly's commitment to student success. Therefore be it.
That was a lot. All right, we are now in discussion of
By Student Success and Technology or submitted by Senator Velez?
student success and technology.
Because it didn't actually go through a vote in my committee and such, so.
Got it, okay. Either way, he did get a second. Summer did it. All right, is there any discussion for? Okay, well, is there any discussion on Resolution 2425-XX? Senator Velez?
Now, as I was reading, I did see a couple typos, but I think that's House rules, right? That gets corrected?
As long as it doesn't change the meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Our treasurer.
Into the horseshoe. I believe the Senate has received this resolution. Has the rest of the horseshoe received it?
I haven't.
I haven't gotten an email with it. I don't know.
Just point of clarification, can you please reply all to the email that the agenda was sent to, so that all of us have a copy of it? Thank you.
All right, while we're waiting for that, is there any discussion? Senator Candela.
If we're going to vote on it today?
This
or
is
we
a
talk
resolution,
about
not a
it
bill.
today, so. Yeah, but we added it. Does it not? Okay. Sorry, I didn't know the rules.
It's okay. All right. Senator Wu.
Is there a timeline for this? Will it be completed by the fall? Like, what's going on? This is directed towards Senator Velez.
Repeat the question, please.
I am an author of the bill as well. I yield.
Oh, could you restate your question?
What's the timeline for this to actually be, because you said it was mandated, what's the timeline do you have for fall?
Immediately after this passes, hopefully it goes to the proper offices. And also, as pointed out, it would start with the student handbook and then the immediate named out materials following that. So can't really give an exact timeline, because it's mostly up to the faculty and staff of the school. So hopefully they have an answer as this passes. I yield to Senator Wu.
And you said that there was going to be an interpretation buddy person. Is that going to come from the student success committee, or is it going to come from the campus?
Can you clarify whether you mean the interpretation services at the major events or the language buddy system that it mentioned?
Language buddy system.
The language buddy system. That would be mostly held up to international student services. That would offer that. And as if you click on the attachments, those are different ways that it's been implemented across different universities. So, yeah, I yield.
Our president.
Sorry, I have another question for you. So I mentioned yesterday when you brought this up to me, maybe connecting with Kevin from International Student Services. Did you get a chance to do that this morning?
Fortunately, they were not in their office, but I did send them an email.
Okay.
Hopefully they get back to me soon.
Is there any other discussion? Right. Seeing as there is no more discussion, we will move into voting. All in favor, please raise your hand. All who oppose? You can't? I thought you just... Oh, never mind. Oh. Yeah, go for it.
Point of information, I don't think we can. We had this discussion way back when. I don't think we can. So, sorry.
All right, well, seeing as there is no more discussion, we'll move on. All right, Resolution 2425-41, Senator Velez.
Give me 2 seconds. Which one was I reading again?
2425-41, the resolution, Brandon Battisti, Acting Treasurer Confirmation.
Motion to accept resolution number 2425-41.
Seconded by Senator Fisher.
We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do hereby resolve, whereas the spring 2025 executive election failed to quantify a treasurer-elect, the outgoing and incoming executive board has nominated Brandon Battisti to fill the vacant treasurer position within the student government at Utica, therefore be it. Enacted, the student government at Utica Senate considers and confirms the nomination of Brandon Battisti as treasurer, therefore be it. Resolved, be it resolved, contractual obligations pertaining to the treasurer position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted, and be it finally resolved, the student government at Utica will have a treasurer to serve the students of SUNY Poly.
All right, our president.
Can I entertain a motion to modify resolved, the first bullet point to state contractual obligations pertaining to the treasurer position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted and in which the Treasurer Weddle leaves office.
Do I have a so moved? So moved by Senator Chaput. Do I have a second? Seconded by Pro Temp Mavros. Is there any discussion on that motion? Our treasurer.
I understand the rationale behind that, but my understanding is the e-board-elect is being sworn in today, pending any changes within the election. If something were to change within the election, then I understand that would be different, but given the election didn't quantify a treasurer to begin with, my understanding is I am vacating this position as of 2 p.m. I've got 54 minutes on the clock. I yield.
Our president.
That is correct. I just want to do it out of the sake of caution as like a little safety net, also for the sake of record keeping in the future, so they look back like really far and they're like, why did they get a new treasurer in the middle of the meeting? Just for a little bit of record keeping. I yield.
Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing as there is no more discussion, did you want to say something? No. Okay. All right, seeing as there is no more discussion, we will vote on that motion. All in favor, please raise your hand. All who oppose? And all who abstain. That passes 7-0-1.
We missed a vote. Can we do a revote?
He's fine with it.
Can we please do a revote? We missed
He-
a vote. Can we do a revote?
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. All who oppose? And all who abstain. That passes 8-0-0. You're welcome. All right, now back into the resolution as a whole. Our treasurer.
May I entertain a motion to have 3 questions asked and then immediately afterwards move into executive session for discussion of this resolution, and upon discussion concluding within executive session, exiting an executive session and voting on this resolution by way of secret ballot. To clarify, in addition to those 3 questions, I'd like the person referenced within this resolution to provide a short bio on why they're seeking this position. I yield.
All right, so moved by Senator Chaput and seconded by Senator Candela. Is there any discussion for that motion? Senator Wu.
Why secret ballot? Is it usually secret ballot for? Okay, never mind then.
We never, is there any more discussion on that motion? All right, seeing as there's no more discussion, we will move into voting. All in favor, please raise your hand. All who oppose? And all who abstain. That passes 8-0-0. All right, feel free to go, Brandon. Short bio.
Hello, everyone. My name's Brandon Battisti. I'm sure everyone knows me already. If you don't, I'm extremely nervous right now, if you couldn't tell. Okay, first year right now, accounting major. I've been in the vice treasurer position for about a year now. Kind of blanking. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Senator Chaput, your first question.
I've had a lot of experience as the vice treasurer working with Grayson. In that capacity, I've also just been involved in the student government. I know a lot of the faculty and staff relating to the financial side, auxiliary services and all that. And I just feel as though with my accounting major as well, I feel like I am qualified for the position.
Senator Fisher.
I'm sorry, I could only hear about half of that.
The mic's
do you want
not
me to-
working. Okay, there it goes. How would you make budget committee meeting more so that more of the public, of the student body would show up, so that they are not surprised when the budget gets put on the table?
I guess just try to be more transparent about the budget. I can't really force anyone to go to a committee, but maybe try to schedule them on times where people won't have as many classes, as possible, or just try to be more open, make budget committees seem more exciting to try to draw people in. But, yeah.
Anyone have a final question? Senator Velez.
A major and a one minor goal that you have for this position that you shoot for next year?
Major goal, I guess, would mostly just be trying to get all the inventories organized. Well, actually, let me change that. The minor goal would be all the inventories and the assets. Major goal is in the treasurer position is just the budget, getting that all sorted out, making sure it's all, organized, clean, all that fun stuff.
All right. So since that was our last question, we will now move into executive session. Could all of our audience members please leave? Thank you.
session. Lucas is currently our chair.
Been counted, and this resolution passes. What are we going into next? What are we moving into next? We'll be now moving into resolution 2425-42. 43, you said? 43. Our treasurer.
May I entertain a motion to ask 3 questions of the candidate listed after they introduce themselves with a short bio, then immediately move into...
Point of order, it needs to be introduced first.
My apologies. My apologies.
All good. So, seeing as this was not motioned in by a, what's it called? A committee, we're going to need someone to read it out and then a second. Who's reading it out? Senator Mavros. What did he say? Oh, Senator Cortez. Seconded by Senator Chaput.
Good. All right. The purpose of this resolution is to confirm Pin Chi Liang as the Wildcat Esports organizational head in the student government of Utica. We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do hereby resolve, whereas the Executive Board has nominated Pin Chi Liang to fill the upcoming vacant Wildcat Esports president position within the student government at Utica, therefore be it enacted, the student government at Utica Senate considers and confirms the nomination of Pin Chi Liang as the Wildcat Esports president, therefore be it resolved, be it finally resolved, contractual obligations pertaining to the Wildcat Esports president position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted. I yield.
Do we have any discussion? Our president.
Yield to our treasurer to repeat his motion he said earlier.
Thank you very much. It was just I'd like to entertain a motion to ask the candidate in question to introduce themselves if they are present and then answer 3 questions, after which we would move into executive session, vote on the resolution, and then exit executive session. I yield.
Do we have a so moved? So moved by Senator Wu, seconded by Senator Chaput. Do we have any discussion on this motion? Seeing no discussion, does anyone oppose unanimous consent? Seeing no opposition, this motion passes 8-0-0. We'll move into the process of questioning. There will be 3 questions, and we'll move straight into executive session. If our candidate would like to come up to the mic, now is an excellent time. And you like to do a short introduction?
Yeah, my name is Pinchi Liang. I've been elected as Wildcat Esports president. I've worked with Wildcat Esports as an officer for a semester, and I've been part of the esports organization since I got here freshman year. I'm a sophomore, by the way.
Excellent. We'll move into our period of questioning. Question 1 will come from Senator Chaput.
Why do you feel you're best fit for this position?
As I've mentioned already, I've been part of the organization since freshman year, so it kind of shows, I hope it shows my passion for gaming and esports in general, and yeah.
Our next question will come from the president.
Put into this position, what sort of change would you like to make to esports?
The biggest change I want right now is probably for the events. I would like to get more interaction with the student body. Although FragFest was incredibly successful, I would hope to see more people attending the entire program rather than just like a portion of it, because yeah.
Alrighty, do we have any more questions? Our treasurer.
Earlier this semester, Wildcat Esports secured a space on campus for an esports arena, as well as funding to help support this esports arena. How do you see the esports arena taking shape and being used going forwards?
Obviously, we have our esports teams, which would be utilizing the space for their practices and for official matches. In addition to that, having our own space allows us to use that space for events. So regular programming is something I would like to see in the future, if possible.
All right, seeing as that was 3 questions, that ends our period of questioning, and we will be entering executive session. If our thank you all for coming back in. With this resolution has passed. Moving on into Resolution 2425-44, Senator Fisher.
Resolution number 2425-04.
Do we have a
44.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Candela.
The purpose of this resolution is to confirm Erica Line as a web organizational head in student government at Utica. We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do by hereby resolve, whereas the Executive Board has nominated Erica Line to fill the upcoming vacant Wildcat Events Board President position within the student government at Utica. Therefore, be it enacted the student government at Utica Senate considers and confirms the nomination of Erica Line as the web president. Therefore, be it finally resolved. Contractual obligations pertaining to Wildcat Events Board President position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted. I yield.
Moving into discussion, our president.
Treasurer.
Thank you very much. I'd like to entertain a motion to have the candidate introduce themselves, then move into a period of 3 questions, after which move into executive session, vote on the resolution during executive session, and then exit executive session.
So moved by Senator Fisher, seconded by Senator Chaput. Do we have any discussion on this motion? Seeing no discussion, we'll move into voting. Does anyone oppose unanimous consent? Seeing no opposition, that motion passes 8-0-0. We will begin our period of questioning with 3 questions. Our first question will come from Senator Wu.
This year we had some trouble with late deadlines, contracts coming in at last minute. What have you learned from this experience for specifically Apocalypse Week?
I've learned from this
Oh, sorry. I do apologize. Would you like to give a bio?
Hi,
Thank you.
everybody. I'm Erica Line. I'm a sophomore in the Communications and Media Design program. I've been the marketing coordinator for Web and then the past president, so thank you. And then to answer your question, Summer, so this year has been really rough with deadlines, I will say that. I want to, moving forward, work closer with our advisors as well as our office manager, John also as well, and then connecting our team more and having that more involved. The team didn't like fully take on as many deadlines with contracts and stuff, so I want to start adding that into as well.
Okay, our next question will come from the president.
So generally during your events, what do you think works well with, you mentioned an event during our interview, it was Winterfest. Besides Winterfest, what other events do you think worked well? What do you think didn't work well? What do you think you can improve on generally with events as you've seen throughout your time as the org head this year?
Mm-hmm. So obviously our biggest event that always works well, Casino Night. We give away so many prizes, so that obviously is a big drawing. But then there's our smaller events like our game shows. Like we had like a You Laugh, You Lose type one. We had Actually, like they're cute, small little events, but we should probably be moving those more to pop-up events outside in the lobby so people can see them more during the daytime. Also prizing and stuff, like not every event needs a prize, but maybe we could do like web merchandise, give that away more, do something like that along those lines.
All right, we have time for one more question. Senator Chaput.
You have for this upcoming year?
This upcoming year, we want to get more involved with the clubs. I had mentioned in my interview as well, I want to work with the Factory Times or just even Joe with Campus Announcements to do something along the lines of like a web weekly type thing or like a web monthly, like here's what's coming up, here's this, more communication. We want to add another social media to web. Me and my marketing coordinator, we wanted to try doing like a TikTok page even, get to get other people involved. We just want to expand ourselves more with the clubs and the organizations.
All right, lovely. Now that, our advisor. Do we have a so moved? So moved by Senator Chaput. Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Mavros. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion, does anyone oppose unanimous consent? Seeing no opposition, that motion passes 8-0-0. And we'll be moving into executive session.
passed. We will now move on to Resolution 2425. All right, we will now move on to Resolution 2425-45. Senator Candela.
Number 2425-45.
All right, seconded by our pro temp.
The purpose of this resolution is to confirm Maximus Azzarello as CFB organizational head in the student government at Utica. We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do hereby resolve, whereas the Executive Board has nominated Maximus Azzarello to fill the up-and-coming vacant CFB president position with the student government at Utica. Therefore be it enacted that student government at Utica Senate considers and confirms the nomination of Maximus Azzarello as CFB president. Therefore be it resolved, be it finally resolved, contractual obligations pertaining to the CFB president position shall at the beginning at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted.
I'm going to pass the chair to our president.
All right. So we had the resolution read. I'm going to call on Senator Sput.
Second for the.
Oh, yeah, we need.
Yeah,
was that for a
that's
second? Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on the resolution at hand? Our treasurer.
May I entertain a motion to have the candidate introduce themselves and then have a period of 2 questions, then move into executive session in which the CFB advisor, if they are present, is included. Vote on the resolution during executive session and then exit executive session.
All right, sorry. So my Senator Sput. I'm so sorry. Seconded by Senator Mavros. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand if you're in approval of that. All those who oppose, and all those who abstain. All right, that motion passes. We will now enter a period of a introduction.
President as of right now. I'm going into my sophomore year. I'm currently a freshman, so yeah, that's basically it for me.
Point of information, just to let the audience members know, we did move back open forum to 155 during the
All right, our question period begins. Senator Velez.
What have you learned in your time as Vice CFB, or what was your position?
Vice President.
Vice President of CFB.
So what I learned is that communication is a big aspect of the CFB, which most of the communication came through me, as I would like to see that kind of change in the future as it comes from more than just one person in the CFB, because it is a big burden. But I learned that the communication between the clubs and the board is one of the strongest points of our actual organization.
Wildcat Media.
Like the issue of that clubs kept coming up to the mic and saying that their minutes were not accepted, their minutes were not accepted. What is your, like, I guess, opinion on how that could be, quote unquote, solved if it can be for next semester?
So with regard to the meeting minutes not being accepted, I don't think we actually rejected any meeting minutes, so I can't honestly speak on that. I'm sorry. I know that's kind of an evasive answer, but I really don't know. But as far as the club's meeting minutes, as soon as we got them and they were approved, they were written down. That was basically it.
Pro Tem Mavros.
Session. Would the treasurer like to mention the motion you try to make in executive session about suspending the one house rule? I yield.
Well, my understanding was just to include the CFB advisor. Is that what you're referring to?
About pushing back open forum.
Oh, my apologies. I'd like to entertain a motion to suspend one specific bullet point of our House rules that forces us to enter open forum at 1:55 p.m. I'd like to suspend that just for the duration of this meeting. We still have a lot left on the table, and we want to ensure that all of these are discussed properly. I yield.
So we have a second. Seconded by Pro Tem Mavros. Any discussion on that, Senator Sput?
I'd just like to ask all the people getting
sworn in today potentially if they're able to stay after for a little bit later to be sworn in.
Our treasurer.
I'd like to ask a question of our Chief Justice. My understanding is the oath of... He stepped out. My apologies. I guess I'll ask our advisors then, or anyone who might have the answer. The oath of office that is required to be given by the president and taken by anyone assuming office, is that required to occur during a Senate meeting? I understand it's best practice, but I'm not aware that it's outlined anywhere within our policies or our Constitution. Consequently, if our candidates have to leave because they have another engagement, which is more than understandable, could they not meet with the president at a later date and preferably with some sort of witness, just take the oath of office? I'm going to yield to our advisors.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Fisher.
We still are we need to get this resolution done. We have 5 minutes left. I yield.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, moving to period of voting. All those in favor?
Point of clarification, may you restate the motion?
I'm sorry, who initially made the motion?
I can restate the motion if you'd like. The motion was to suspend one specific subsection of our House rules under Appendix P. It is the section that states open forum can be pushed back no later than 1:55 p.m. This would allow us to continue business. I yield.
All right. Any further discussion on the motion at hand? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All those who oppose, and all those who abstain. That passes 5-1. Seeing as there is no more discussion, we're going to move into executive session as per the initial. A bio was also given at the beginning. Our advisors.
I just remembered something that Ben had shared earlier. We have to be out of this room by 2:15, 2:30ish. We have an event in here, and the space is only booked until 2 o'clock. We have an event for a de-stress night with massage chairs. So I yield.
So be there.
Any further discussion before we enter executive session? Seeing none, we will enter executive session. To our audience and Wildcat Media, please step out of the room. passed. Congratulations to Max. Can I ask media very quickly, is there any possibility we can relocate your recording equipment up to the SGU lounge to continue this meeting? I'm going to yield to our Wildcat Media chair.
Mics can't be moved, but the cameras can. The cameras might not be able to pick up the audio.
I'm going to yield to our advisor.
I really understand the desire and the need to do that, but we don't know who's available. Professional staff have meetings. It's a huge undertaking for them to move all of their stuff. The space is not set up or conducive right now to keep hosting the meeting. We just have to keep going as long as we can and just keep picking up that communication.
Senator Chaput.
Kate, we're not going to be able to do swear-ins.
No? We gotta keep going. Gotta go. Keep going.
Our treasurer.
May I ask again to Advisor Wadsworth if the MPR is at all available over this coming weekend?
There's a certain amount of notice they have to give.
It's 2 weeks.
Advisor Wadsworth has the floor currently.
I'm going to yield. There will be people in and out of here the entire time.
Media.
Can we just continue with business until we are kicked out?
All right, moving on to Resolution 2425-46, Wildcat Media Organization Head Confirmation. I don't know who's reading that.
1 second. 1 second. Okay. Motion to accept Senate Resolution number 2425-46.
Seconded by Senator Cortez. Any discussion on the resolution?
The purpose of this resolution is to confirm Rachel Solomon to the Wildcat Media organizational head in the student government at Utica. We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do hereby resolve, whereas the Executive Board has nominated Rachel Solomon to fulfill the upcoming vacant Wildcat Media General Manager position within the student government at Utica, therefore be it enacted, the student government at Utica Senate considers and confirms the nomination of Rachel Solomon as the Wildcat Media General Manager, therefore be it resolved, be it finally resolved, contractual obligations pertaining to the Wildcat Media General Manager position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted.
Our treasurer.
May I entertain a motion to have the candidate introduce themselves, ask 2 questions, then immediately move into executive session, upon which voting will happen, and then we'll continue. I yield.
So moved by Senator Chaput, seconded by Senator Wu. Any discussion? Seeing none, we move into voting on that motion. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those who oppose, all those who abstain. That passes 6-0-0. To our candidate, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Rachel Solomon, and I've been in Wildcat Media for 3 years now. I've been 2 years as live events coordinator, and this year I've been the general manager. I've also on campus. I work in the Writing and Communication Center as a peer consultant.
Our media representative.
Throughout, obviously, you have done GM for a year. What is the number one thing that you think you've learned about being GM throughout this year?
I would say the number one thing is to expect the unexpected, to make sure you know your way around an emergency, to try to figure out, because as you guys know, Apocalypse Week, the weekend, the car show, we were rained out. We had a lot of equipment. To keep a cool head and to lead a team during an emergency is skills that I have learned this year.
Our second question, Senator Chaput.
What are some goals that you have for this next year?
Some goals I have for media next year include the more operation of the Factory Times website, as well as the revitalization of the radio station, as well as doing a whole PR elevation for media to show what we can do to the students, to make sure the students understand that they can rent cameras, they can do this, we can upload anything on our YouTube channel that you produce. it is a TV channel, and also to make sure that we have more listeners for the radio. That's my goal, basically PR overhaul. I yield.
All right, seeing as our questions have concluded, we will enter executive session. To our audience and media, please step out. Just so move that. We have a second. We have a motion to table the remaining items on the in new business. That includes Resolution 2425-42, Resolution 2425-47, Bill 2425-12, Bill 2425-13, and Bill 2425-14. We have a second for that.
I would table it for hopefully an emergency meeting coming. Yeah, until our next meeting, yes.
Any discussion on the motion at hand? Our treasurer.
I think that puts us in a very specific spot with regards to some of this legislation. I understand we are in a very sticky situation in general, but it would effectively, I think, prevent certain legislation from having any impact whatsoever just by procedure. I heard... I'm just going to ask our advisors a very quick question. May I speak about something that was discussed during executive session that was unrelated to the resolution at hand? No. Okay.
No.
I understand that, it could be passed and the will of the Senate does have power, and it goes back to election committee, but per our policies and per Robert's Rules of Order, election committee doesn't have the power to recall a elected sworn-in officer from a position. That goes down to our strike policy. That is the only way by which an individual can be removed from office unless they are otherwise immediately removed due to failing to meet the requirements, which go down to GPA requirements and student activity fee payment. To that end, I really don't think it's the right move because you're essentially preventing this legislation from ever having an impact, because even if it was passed, it would have no weight whatsoever because the committee that you're referring back to doesn't actually have the power to affect change. It effectively invalidates the petition. The petition was signed by, my understanding is, over 200 students to be brought forth, and it really feels like we're just silencing those voices. I yield.
I'm going to yield to Pro Tem Everest.
Vice president seats that are in question for that one resolution too, can we swear in every position except those two and have those two positions on pause until we discuss that resolution and figure out what's happening with the election results? I yield.
I'm going to ask really quick, who can answer that question? Advisor Wadsworth.
The presidential academic year, right? That's how long you serve. If we cannot swear them in, what will happen is the president will take over as vice president, and vice president will take over as president. It will get really chaotic, really, 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 really sticky, but that is what would occur because nobody would be in that role because it's an academic year, and the academic year ends. So I don't know if that answers the question. I understand where you are coming from, Grayson. But I think that the best course of this is the best course of action because what would happen is we're out. We gotta leave. So what could happen is if we don't have a president, the president can't call an emergency Senate meeting. Should we swear in the president? Then they could call an emergency Senate meeting to discuss it. There is no perfect route here.
I'm going to go to Senator Velez first, if I'm going in order.
I think it's as simple as just. I think it's just as simple as sending out a doodle poll to everyone on the horseshoe and the candidates, and having that set deadline of next Friday, the academic year, and then just having that emergency Zoom meeting. Because like Erica mentioned, she's leaving. So yeah. So yeah, that's I yield.
Our treasurer.
To meet quorum, we need 6 senators. I'm just going to ask for a verbal commitment from our 6 senators at this horseshoe. Is there a time, sometime before next Friday, by which you would be willing to come to an emergency meeting? I yield.
Senator Candela.
Come or just. Sure. I could do any time. Basically.
Wildcat Media. We did do that. We did do that. All right. Point of order. I have the floor again. Media.
clarify, we're doing swear-ins today, so we're still doing that?
Nothing has said
Okay.
otherwise.
I was just confused with all the talking. Yeah.
Wildcat
I yield.
Events Board. Pro Temp Mavros. Senator Velez. Our secretary, are we still in a motion to table all agenda items? All right, we are still in a motion. Is there any more discussion on the motion to table the remaining items on the agenda? Our treasurer.
May I entertain an amendment to that motion to bundle within it a stipulation that per any remaining legislation on the table, those individuals will not be sworn in? I yield. For any individuals who are related or otherwise impacted by the legislation that would be tabled, they will not be sworn in today. They will be sworn in next meeting. I yield.
I'm going to call on our advisor. Senator Velez, do you still have your hand up?
We are doomsday prepping on a matter that's not that deep. Ayur.
Point of order. Did anyone so move the entertained motion? Is anyone so moving? I guess would be the
Is there a so move for that motion? So by Senator Candela, do we have a second on that?
Senator Velez.
Go ahead.
Recess. Can we recess until the after that event too and pick this up tonight?
There will be no setup. There will be no setup. The room will not be booked, meaning we don't have it.
Webb.
Motion that you were trying to do is just tabling the rest of the people, so that's just the e-board. I yield back, but then I need you to yield back to me.
Specifically the president and vice president positions, as those are covered by legislation that is still pending. I yield back to our web
Okay,
representative.
so technically this isn't that bad of a situation because we can swear in the treasurer, that you just passed that resolution. We can do the org heads. The org heads can still run and purchase things over the summer and the things we need to do because we have a treasurer.
Also, point of information, we would have a secretary as well.
Yeah,
As per.
so we can do it. We can do this. The
Our advisor.
orgs can still function.
Senator Chaput.
First off, point of information, are we in the motion right now?
We are still in motion
Okay.
to table the rest of the agenda items.
Can I make a amendment to my motion saying that we recess to the conference room upstairs at 9:30 tonight to continue to just finish this meeting?
We have a motion to recess until 9:30 tonight in the SGU conference room. Do we have a second? Senator Candela, any discussion on that motion?
Just a point of clarification, the recess indicates that we are not going to be completing the rest of the meeting today, so we will not be doing swear-ins or open forum. Is that correct?
A recess can just be a period of time until you pick up the meeting again. It doesn't stop us from moving on in terms of portion. We're literally putting a pause to my
But my
understanding.
question is, you're tabling and recessing. Which are you doing?
Oh,
Are we
no,
recessing?
the amendment was to switch it from tabling to recessing.
Any further discussion on the motion to recess till 9:30, or to amend the original motion to recess till 9:30?
End of the night.
So if we are modifying, if we're modifying the original motion to be, oh my gosh, to recess till 9:30, then we will continue the agenda as it is outlined by our secretary at 9:30, and thus we would continue with swear-ins at that portion. When yield to our advisor.
Reconvene at 9:30 tonight. You are going to cover 5 resolutions and bills, one of which is highly contested, and then you're going to ask people who are going to be sworn in who don't have anything really related to any of this legislation to stay until whatever time that may be, because there isn't an end time identified. We sit here, we go from 12:30 to 2, we sit here, we can get to, there's no end time. So if we go till 1 o'clock in the morning, you're asking everyone who needs to be sworn in till 1 in the morning, when people here have papers, files, tests, all kinds of work to do, and many of us have to be back here at 8 a.m.
Senator Wu.
Can we just vote on this resolution right now? Like, can we call the question, can we go into the resolution, call to question it, and just vote?
We don't have the space, we're out of here at 2, it's 2:25.
Okay.
Is there any discussion on the amendment to the initial motion? Senator Pro Tem Evros.
Are there any audience members who are being sworn in that cannot make that 9:30 recess meeting?
Is there any further discussion on the amendment to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment to adjourn until 9:30, please raise your hand. Sorry, recess, my apologies. Recess until 9:30, please raise your hand. All those who oppose and all those who abstain. That passes 5-0-1. We are in the motion now to recess until 9:30. Is there any further discussion? Into the conference room at 9:30. Wildcat Media.
I cannot guarantee Wildcat Media audio live streaming support for this part of the meeting, as there is no way to get audio input into our into the cameras.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to recess till 9:30 in the SGU conference room? CFB.
I have a question though, because if this whole point is us having a contested election due to us not having faith within the student government, wouldn't then now not having live stream, we're not having anyone able to view it, negate the entire point of debating if we don't know what's being said by who? And this is just a whole mess created by you guys. I yield back to the treasurer.
May I ask from our Wildcat Media representative, I understand you cannot guarantee, but would you be willing to work with the rest of media to do the utmost best you can to provide AV support for that meeting? Even if I understand you can't guarantee it's absolutely going to happen, but doing the best that you can?
Senator Velez.
How many viewers on YouTube do we have right now? 2. In the past, I have been through the YouTube channel. There are missing meetings left and right. You know, you could pick them out as you go through. Ayur.
Web.
I have a really quick question. You keep saying we're in a horrible position. What do you suggest we do? I'm sorry, I really haven't heard anything from you about this, and I'd appreciate if you give us some input, because you are our advisors. I know, but we need to figure this out.
I'm sorry, can I cut you off? We're going off topic from the motion at hand.
I'm asking for your opinion of where do we move?
Senator Chaput. We have a motion to call the question. Do we have a second to call the question on the motion to recess till 9:30 in the SGU conference room? Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Wu.
If it can be 8 o'clock, that would be much more preferable for 9:30. How many people no, we've already got people who came from swearing. I thought they left.
No, they came back like.
No, never mind. Then can we go up there? I was under the wrong information then, so I mean now.
It's free until 4.
Till 3. There's 30 minutes.
We have 30 minutes.
You still have the floor.
No, I don't have a floor.
Okay. So we have a call to question. We had a second. No discussion, call to question. All those in favor, call the question on the motion, please raise your hand. All those who oppose? And all those who abstain? Oh my God. I need a revote. All those who are in favor of a call to question, please raise your hand. All those who oppose? And all those who abstain? That motion fails 0-4-2. We are back in discussion on the motion to adjourn, to recess till 9:30 in the SGU conference room. Any further discussion? Our treasurer.
Just a friendly request of Senator Chaput, would you be amicable to rescinding your original motion and then proposing a new motion with an updated time? I yield to Senator Chaput.
I would be applicable to that. I rescind my motion.
Okay, our motion has been rescinded. We're back to the original motion.
Yeah. And then motion to move the continuation of discussion recess up to the conference room at 8 o'clock tonight.
All right, we have a motion to amend the initial motion to recess till 8 o'clock tonight in the...
No, not amend. It's just a new motion entirely. Because I rescinded the original motion.
You had the original motion. Okay, I apologize. We have a motion to move to the conference room 8:30 tonight for a recess. Recess till 8:30 tonight in the conference room. All right, we can no longer vote on anything. We have lost quorum. We are in open forum and swear-ins now. I don't see why not, but I'm not going to be the president then. So that's not up to me anymore. If you'd like to do that, you should connect with the next president. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, is this everyone who's being sworn in? Am I missing anyone? Am I crazy? Saba? Saba stepped out, okay. All right. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Will faithfully uphold the Student Government at Utica Constitution and carry out the duties of state your organization and position to the best of my ability, and will represent the students of SUNY Poly in a fair and unbiased manner. All right, congratulations. Please sign the swearing sheet. We don't have swearing sheets. Please find the secretary at a later time, our now former secretary, to sign the swearing sheets. And seeing as we have lost quorum, our meeting is concluded.